Parents are outraged over how the principal of Holabird Middle School in Dundalk responded to a water issue. A leaked email to staff says buckets were placed in the bathroom for students to use. That email went viral on social media, sparking widespread concern.
You know, most of the time when I see a story cross my wire and I have to think of an intro for one of these videos, I got it right away. It just pops into the brain, 10,000 IQ take, and I'm ready to drop that upon you because that's what I do for a living and I'm good at my job. But in this particular case, my only response was, what? Like what? Really? That's the best solution that you have? You're gonna put a bucket in the corner of the bathroom because you don't have water running in your public school? That's really the best you could think of in this particular situation. You're not gonna shut down the public school because, you know, there's no running water in said public school. You're instead gonna put a bucket and tell the kid to go do poo-poo and pee-pee in the bucket. That's what's going on right here. That's what's actually happening. Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Sean, and today we're going to talk about an absolutely crazy story out of the city of Baltimore, where again, the water stopped working in the public school, and the Baltimore school principal decided that the solution to that would be to have the children take a crap in a bucket, because for some reason that made sense to him. Now, we're going to get into this, but before we do, I want to say that on Saturday and Sunday, February 15th and February 16th, they are having DebateCon 5 in Newark, New Jersey. Get your tickets, a link in the description. I will actually be debating on February 16th. That would be the Sunday. So if you want to see me in person do a debate, I think it will be absolutely wonderful. Again, the link to tickets in the description.
You close the school. It's not 1920 anymore. You know what I mean? You close the school, period.
So what I love about this particular news segment is that within the first 10 seconds, they pull over this one guy, this one sensible guy that is still living in the city of Baltimore, and he provides the adequate solution to this issue, which is you close the school for a day. The water runs out, or you don't have running water in the school building on a Friday, you just take the day off. It's an emergency. It's not 1920. You don't put buckets up and tell kids to take a crap in the bucket. But apparently, the principal of the school does not have the same level of common sense as a random passerby that the local news ends up pulling over in order to ask them about this particular situation. And here's the crazy thing. A lot of people are going to say, Sean, you know what? Underfunded minority schools, consequences of redlining and evil white racism that's baked into our system, the systemic structures, you know, the structural systemics. But I just want to point out for everybody out there in the audience that the Baltimore County Public Schools are not underfunded in any way, shape, or form. In fact, they rank either third or fourth in overall funding in the entire country each and every year. The problem is that we see, by the way, time and time again in Democrat-controlled areas, is that the funding is completely misallocated. It is completely misappropriated, and many cases, it is in fact stolen. This particular public school, again, has 61% minority student population. The teacher-to-student ratio is 15-1. This is what the unions tell us time and time again is an ideal ratio for learning. But guess what? The building doesn't have regular, ordinary maintenance. I mean, honestly, how many times do I have to say this in videos? The basic things, the basic managerial things that people don't notice, government does not do because they know that people don't notice them until there's a disaster. Meanwhile, all this money is being flooded throughout the system. A bunch of different administrators and people are getting paid. They're stealing millions, if not billions of dollars, but you don't have running water in the schools. And again, you don't have intelligent people who are smart enough to realize that maybe, just maybe, you should cancel a school day if there's no running water in the building. Maybe get that problem fixed. It's a Friday, get it fixed over the weekend, and on Monday, you can open up the schools, and then this wouldn't be a big deal. Instead, the solution from the principal is to send out an email with photos in the email of buckets that they place in the bathroom for toilet emergencies.
Well, as you know, when things go wrong at schools, principals are trained to do what they think is best to resolve the situation. And tonight, a closer look at what Baltimore County school officials are calling an alleged instruction at one school today.
So first of all, I just want to say I do love Fox 45 and Project Baltimore, and I love all the different characters that reemerge in these local news segments, but this guy in particular is one of my favorites, and not just because of his hard-hitting reporting, but because he still has the capacity to be surprised. Notice that he has to read this off of his phone during the course of his segment because it's so dumb, it's so ridiculous, that again, he cannot imagine that this is just a sensible response, so he's double-checking in real time that this is actually what happened at this middle school. Praise to this man. He is a hero. Go look at all the different various segments on the disaster that is Baltimore, because this is definitely one of them. And again, I will add, this is not a funding issue. The Baltimore public schools have almost the top, or they're in the top 5 in school funding each and every year in terms of per pupil spending. This is a management issue, a mismanagement issue, an absolute disaster, and again, a lower level management issue in that the principal is actually stupid. He's actually a dumb man. He's actually a not smart, because instead of closing the school on a Friday, he decided it would be much, much better to put buckets in there and then take pictures of the buckets and then shoot them out in emails to everyone saying, we're making kids crap in buckets.
At Hollybird Middle School in Dundalk, a daytime dilemma for students. With no water in the building Friday morning, questions over how to deal with bathroom breaks developed. Then a decision allegedly made by the principal, seen in this email sent internally to staff, leaked to the public, saying if there's a student who has a severe bathroom issue, we'll have a bucket they can use inside the bathroom. The email and photos then flooded social media, triggering bathroom backlash.
Oh, actually, quick correction right there. I said the principal is an idiot. I said he is a fool. But looking at the name of the principal in this particular school, I can actually identify this person as a female. Yolanda Booker. Yolanda Booker is the genius behind the make your kids crap in a bucket idea. That's the woman that's behind this.
The email and photos then flooded social media, triggering bathroom backlash.
I saw it was all over Facebook. When I saw that, I said, there's no way that can be real.
So right off the top, I just want to point out that bucket is from Home Depot. And the reason why I want to point this out is because Home Depot definitely does not want the fact that their bucket with their logo is the one that is being used in this particular segment. And that is why they're actually blurring it out at the local news level. But if you pay attention to the shape of the logo and the color orange on the bucket, you know 100% that is a Home Depot bucket. Which, by the way, I don't think this is the intended purpose for them as a replacement for a toilet when there's no water.
Don Hendricks, among parents perplexed over the idea of children using buckets in the bathroom.
At home, they use the bathroom, not in the school in a bucket. Now, if we're out in a campsite somewhere, going camping in the woods, different story. But it's only my family around. It's not everyone else around.
So again, they go back to sensible white guy, which is what I'm going to call this person, who is a parent of children that go to this school, in that 40-something% of non-minority students that are at the school. And he explains to the local news person that at home, they use a toilet. At home, they have a regular ordinary bathroom. They don't make them poop in a bucket. That would be weird. That would be unusual. And then he kind of over-explains this point by saying when we're camping or whatever, then yeah, sure, then you could do your business outside. But I assure you, this is not India, where 2/3 of the population don't have toilets. This is the United States of America, and I expect a government facility, which is what a public school is, to actually have a toilet, to actually have that present on the campus. And if they don't have it present on the campus, just close the school. It's okay. They can miss one day of school on a Friday because there's no running water in the entire building.
Chrissy Jackson,
I was in disbelief, first of all.
says when she learned about the principal's response to the water issue, she was at work, had her 10-year-old son picked up from school, who briefed her on the ordeal. Jackson on the phone with what he said.
His teacher told him at 10 o'clock in the morning, they better go use the bathrooms now before they put the buckets in there, because then the whole school will only be able to use the bathrooms in the buckets for emergencies only. And they had teachers and the principal blocking all of the bathroom doors.
So yeah, they call another parent right here, and the parent says that she had her child picked up from the school when they found out about this particular situation, and apparently this was more of a planned shutdown of the water for repairs. Again, just close the schools or do the repairs on the weekend. What the hell is wrong with you? And then the kid ends up describing the situation to his mother, which is, yeah, they had teachers and principals that were guarding the door while people used the bucket in emergency situations, because apparently this is the best idea that they had in Baltimore public schools. Again, I will point out that the schools are failing, and in part that is because the students are raised by people who don't have good home lives and don't emphasize the importance of education, but it's also the people running the schools, the people who thought this was a good idea, that are responsible for these failing public schools. Make no mistake about it. They don't have Mr. Clark running these schools. Let us make no mistake about that. Morgan Freeman is not in the building trying to save all these different kids. They have a bunch of idiots running these schools, a bunch of lazy people, a bunch of absolute buffoons, and it shows each and every day and each and every time we hear a story out of the Baltimore public school system.
We reached out to Baltimore County school officials about the matter. A spokesperson responded with an email from the executive director of schools, saying in part, a water main break in the community caused very low water pressure at the school, which improved within an hour, and there was no impact on school operations or instruction. But for one parent,
my son was definitely impacted by it. He said, I was so happy that you sent somebody to pick me up because I really had to use the bathroom, and I wasn't going to use the bathroom in a bucket in the middle of the bathroom where other kids could be in there and see me.
Yeah, so the school says no big deal. There was a water main break. We did the best that we could, and this didn't cause a disruption or anything of the sort. And then they cut to a parent who says, I was really glad you picked me up from school, Mom, because I had to use the bathroom and I didn't want a bunch of people watching me go to the bathroom in a bucket. It made me very, very uncomfortable. It made me feel very unusual. And yeah, obviously that would be unusual, but apparently it's the best possible solution according to Yolanda Booker, the principal for this school. And again, today, one of our absolute buffoons of the day.
well, school officials went on to say that restroom use during that outage was against the school system's acceptable practices, and they say they are investigating the matter.
Yeah, so unsurprisingly, this is going to trigger an investigation. Spoiler alert, the principal's an idiot. I just saved you a bunch of time hiring investigators to look into this. The principal's an absolute doofus, and if you have a problem where water is shut down for your entire school, just close the school. Just have the parents pick up their kids. It is not a big deal. It is not the end of the world, but putting buckets in the bathrooms just shows me that you're an absolute buffoon, and maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't be in charge of anybody else's kids. But you know what? Those are just my thoughts. I want to know what you guys think about this down in the comments below. If you like the video, show them by leaving a like, subscribe for more content, follow me on the social media, support me via the support links in the description of this video. This has been me talking about more madness in Baltimore public schools. Till next time.